have it all. I can have it all.
Hello, everybody. This is Christy Whitman with the Quantum Success Show, where you can get your information and inspiration to create your desires. And as you can see, I have a friend. I have a very, very special friend. And I don't even need to introduce her, because if you've been watching me for a while, if you've been looking at my newsletters or anything I've been sharing with you, Natalie has been pretty much into every photo and every experience I've been having this last year, from going to the Grammys, Unstoppable, and to doing a mastermind with these amazing women. So Natalie Ledwell, I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I love it now that we get to have a chat like we normally would, but we actually have to have it so other people get to hear it as well. Listen in.
I love that too, because I know that I'm always energized and expanded by our conversation. So why not allow other people to listen in and be expanded by it?
Absolutely.
So we're going to talk about visualization, because I know that obviously you are one of the co-creators of Mind Movies, and you have helped over 2 million people create mind movies and help with better visualization and manifestation, because the visual component of manifestation. So I would love to talk about your perspective, our perspective on visualization and what's really important. And I know you have a free gift to give everybody at the end, but I'm thrilled you're here and that we get this time together.
Yeah, well, visualization is a very big component when it comes to effectively applying the law of attraction. For me, initially when we first started with Mind Movies, the whole reason Mind Movies came about is because I couldn't see anything in my mind. I couldn't visualize. I had a really difficult time doing that. And I don't know why that is. I think it's, we get out of the habit of using our imagination,
Well,
so
doing meditations, as you know, I do guided meditations a lot of time with clients. And that's what I get, is that there's, a select, maybe handful of people that are like, I just cannot visualize. They can feel, they can maybe even hear something, but they cannot see anything. And so that's why I love what you're serving, that part of we all can do it. They can do it. It's just they've kind of gotten out of it, or don't have a training in how to do it, or kept it going all these years. So what you're doing and you and Glenn are doing is amazing, because it helps put the visual in there. So go ahead, anyone.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, people can do it. Like if I said, I want you to think of a pink elephant right now, you instantly see a pink elephant. But I think what the thing is with visualization is people think there has to be a certain way that it has to be done. And that if they're doing it, that maybe not doing it right. And, and if they if they can't hold a picture there for a while, they go, well, I'm not being very effective at it, because it's not like I can hold it in my mind. So, like I said, this is the whole reason my movies were created in the beginning. So, when you're watching this movie, or even if you have a vision board or you have affirmations, whatever that is, and you read that, as you're reading it, you do, like if you're reading a book, as you're reading it, you're seeing in your mind, you have a picture of what that character looks like. Whenever they make it like a movie out of a book, and you go, I wonder what actor they're going to choose, because I have this picture of what they're going to look like.
Right.
Or if you've read the books after the movie, you keep seeing the actor as the character in your mind. So we all have the ability to do it. It's just a matter of getting into a practice and we're into a habit of doing it, so that we can, so we get better at it. So when we're talking about how to, do our visualization effect, like really powerfully, what I recommend, because, it's not just what you see, but the more senses that you can bring into the equation, the more effective it is. Now, as you know, I do a lot of work with a guy called Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he talks a lot about neuroscience and the brain and how our mind can heal our bodies and, and create these futures for ourselves. So with his advanced workshops, I go in and I help with my team, not me personally, but with my team, help everyone make their own personal mind movies, and then we use them in the workshop. So we'll be, watching the mind movie, then we go into a meditation. And we get to choose, or Joe tells us to choose one slide, just one picture out of that mind movie, and then to dimensionalize it. So now we're actually in the picture. So a lot of times when we're visualizing, we'll see ourselves sort of out there, like we're watching a movie of ourselves. But if we can put ourselves in it, that completely changes everything, especially if we're doing something like a meditation where we're already connected to the quantum field. Then we have this really vivid experience that we've created in our mind. What we're doing if we're connected to the quantum field is actually creating that event that will eventually be turning up, which is really cool. So I have an awesome story of a woman. She was in Australia at one of the Joe Dispenza workshops. And her and her husband were having a lot of financial difficulty, and they had their house on the market. They had it on for like a month or so, and not even one offer. They had nothing on it, and things were starting to get a little bit dire. And the wife, her name was Karen, and she says to her husband, "Look, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Everything will work out. See you later. I'm off to the Dr. Joe event." So she gets to the Joe event. Of course, she knows exactly what's seen from her mind movie that she's going to be visualizing and dimensionalizing. Yeah, so she knew exactly what scene she was going to be, recreating in her mind. So she's in her living room. She's got a pen in it. She could feel the pen in her hand. She's signing the contract. The smell of the real estate agent's aftershave was awful. She could taste the champagne. She bubbles against her nose, and that feeling and the emotion, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a moment, of this relief that she finally sold the house, and that, and so joyful that, they're going to get out of their financial situation. So anyway, so she goes, that was during the day. She goes back to her room that night. She turns on her phone because she doesn't have it in the room with her. And there's a text message from her husband going, "You got to call me." So she calls him and he goes, "You're not going to believe this, but we got an offer on the house." And she goes, "Well, I do believe it." And, but it wasn't for the amount that they wanted. So she goes, "Don't do anything. Leave it with me." So next day, because we did it 2 days in a row, she's back in there, but this time she sees the amount on the top of the contract when she's in that scene. So now she's doubling down. She's creating this event twice, but she's expanding on it.
Yeah. So
the more that we do that, of course, our subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what we see through our eyes and what we're creating in our mind. And because this was such a visceral and real experience for her, and she already had the validation of the day before that, well, we know this works. So 2 days later, not that same day, but 2 days later, they finally got an offer for the amount that they wanted. And that's how quickly things can come to fruition.
Well, I was telling the story of the Grammys, because people were always asking, I'm sure they asked you too, how did you get to the Grammys? And I told a story of how, I had a girlfriend that lived in Montreal that got to go to the Grammys because her husband is a sound engineer, and he's won a lot of Grammys, I think 9 or something like that. So I was like, oh my God. And I remember saying, God, that'd be so awesome to go to the Grammys. I didn't go, but I can't go because, la, 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 all these other things. I just was like, that would be so great to go to the Grammys. And then the next year I see pictures of you at the Grammys, and I'm like, oh man, it's getting closer. I would love to go to the Grammys. I'd love to go with Natalie. And I was visualizing myself there with you, with Frederick, with Glenn, with JJ, just all these people having a great time, seeing a great show. And then a month later, JJ sent out her invitation. I'm like, I just jumped on it. I'm like, that's mine. And, and then here I was, I'm literally living out a visualization. This has already occurred before,
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And that's the thing, and I think part of the equation, there's another 2 parts of the equation I want to cover. The other part is the emotion. So I'm sure that, when you first went, oh my God, the Grammys. So you're the emotion that's welling up on you is the excitement of it. Yeah. You can see yourself there,
yeah.
And you can sense the fun that you're having. You're already emotionally in that, that future event. Yeah. So when we talk about emotions, thoughts are things. Every thought has an emotion attached to it. What we're talking about here is energy, a frequency. And emotions are the frequency that is the language of the universe. It's the language of the universe understands. So when we can be emotionally aligned with this future event, then what happens is that we're sending that frequency out into the quantum field or out into the universe. So then by law, which is law of attraction, whatever is a vibrational match to the frequency that we're sending out then gets attracted back to us. And it may not necessarily be the thing itself, but it's definitely the opportunities and the people and the meetings and the things that we need that takes us on that journey, on that path to make it our reality. So, and a lot of people go, well, what am I supposed to feel? Am I supposed to feel joy or gratitude? Not always. You know, like I said, with the woman that was selling her house, she just felt relief. It was just pure relief. You know, sometimes, you know, you might be feeling accomplishment. You know, sometimes you just might be feeling pride, you know, or you could be feeling love. It depends on what the situation is. Yeah.
That's mine.
Yeah, exactly. So depending on you want to feel what you will feel when it starts to happen, when it's happening. So that's the kind of emotion that you want to add there. The other part of it too, which is, you know, with your Grammy story, belief and expectation. When we have belief and expectation, so we believe without a shadow of a doubt it's going to happen, and we expect it to happen, we have this completely different energetic, we surround that situation with a completely different energy. And it's one that keeps the flow open between us and the universe. So everything we need for it to transpire, to come in and make things happen for us and make that situation reality is exactly what we need from that. So.
Absolutely. I love it. You're brilliant. I love you. This is just a conversation that we have.
No, exactly. This is just a regular old conversation.
I think we've had this conversation by the beach with the full moon. It wasn't the full moon. What moon was that in Maui?
No, it was a new moon or some kind of moon. It was a special
super moon.
Super moon. That's right.
It was a moon.
It was big.
It was big. It was beautiful with Jennifer. Yeah, we did a show. I remember. And that's another thing. I mean, like in Maui, you know, just all these amazing experiences and places. And that's another manifestation. For me, it was like, I want to be around. I want to surround myself with people that I relate with, that I can talk like this kind of language and they wouldn't look at me like I'm nuts, you know, and be able to have these in-depth conversations while swimming in an ocean. You know, while being at the Grammys, just having fun, jumping in a bus and dancing and having a good time, but with people that are abundant minded and that are, you know, really centered in themselves and get the whole thing of that. I'm not responsible for your happiness and you're not responsible for mine. We all interconnect with ourselves, and then we can connect on such a different level, because we're all manifesting at such a high level. And that's it's one of the things, but it's like, I felt my way into having friends like that. And the cool experiences that we get to have together. It's amazing.
Yeah. And, you know, and when you talk about like, you know, being, you know, abundant minded, you know, we're not talking just about money.
No.
You know, we're talking about friendship. We're talking about love. We're talking about life experience. And when you're in that abundant mindset, often things will show up for you that you think you may need money to actually achieve. And sometimes they show up without you actually having to contribute any kind of money to it anyway. You know, like because you are in this abundant vibration of, well, I know the universe has my back. And I know that everything always works out for me. And, you know, maybe these are some mantras that you can adopt to really, you know, help to get your mindset into that. I mean, after a while, it's your natural thought pattern, you know, and that's the other thing, like when we're talking about with visualization, repetition is also a really key component of this as well, because what we also are trying to do is overcome, you know, a whole bunch of negative programming and limiting beliefs and, you know, and old thought paradigms that are not serving us anymore, but they got there through repetition in the first place. Yeah. So for us to be able to override that, the more often we can, you know, be in our visualization, and you don't necessarily have to sit down and have your eyes closed either.
Correct.
You know, with a mind movie, the secret source of a mind movie is the song, the music that you choose. You know, and my original mind movie that I made back in 2007, I used Clocks by Coldplay. It's my favorite song on the planet. And look, even when I talk about it, I get goosebumps. But when I hear that song even now, and this is 10 years later, I am instantly taken back into the emotions of, you know, of what that meant. Like that was the beginning of everything. That was the beginning of this life that we've been able to create. Yeah. And even if I if I hear the song that I have to my recent mind movie on the radio as I'm driving the car, I instantly, my mind, because I've seen my mind movie connected to that song for so long, and I've got that associative memory, I instantly start seeing this future in my mind, even though I'm driving the car. Right. You know, so even if you don't have a mind movie, if you've got a vision board or whatever, choose a song that you know is going to elevate your emotion, makes it easier for you to get into the, you know, that higher vibrational emotion, because once we're in that higher vibrational state, we are in flow, you know, it means that everything then becomes to us so much easier. And music is the easiest way to get there.
Well, it's funny you say that because we usually do it on the reverse. Like if you hear a song, you know, that you had an amazing, like I think of Adele, you know, we're getting in the bus from the Grammys, and you as the DJ of the party, hello, she's amazing. Put on Adele, hello. And I'm every time I hear that song now, I picture Cynthia in front of me, just like belting it out, and everybody else on the bus. So we're used to it, like doing it a reverse. Like we hear a song in a situation that we love, and then that creates the memory. What you're doing is redesigning it so that you're creating the visual of the future that you want to experience, and exactly, you know, the love or the body or the money or the whatever, career success, and you're putting it with music so that then every time you hear that song, it generates because that's what it's all about. It's generating the feeling before the manifestation, because most people on the planet think, well, if I get that, then I'll feel this way. And that's such the biggest lie. I don't know who on the planet originally entrained human beings to feel that way, or to know that, or to have that as a belief. But oh my God, I mean, I know you and I, and we've talked about this, like with Sonia, we had a show with her. We were in Turks and Caicos years ago. And the three of us came from a very low middle class family. It wasn't like we were really wealthy, and we certainly did not understand abundance, and we're more lack than we were in abundance. And it's not like we were just all of a sudden became, you know, abundant minded. We worked at it. And what you're saying is it's consistency. It's choosing in those moments, you know, knowing what abundance is. Like you said, most people think abundance money, but it's like,
it's more than that. It's way more than that.
Like freedom for me. It's like when I'm in that space of freedom and I feel that's my sauce. That's my ooh. And I can have an abundance of that feeling. And that's when I'm like, oh, I'm home in that. You know, and that's what abundance is. But it's like you're saying, it's the mind that tells you, well, you got to worry about this. And I used to go there, and I just go start worrying. I was so far away from freedom. But it's like now being aware of what you're focusing on, what you're feeling. And so I love that my movies truly is a tool to help people get into that place that they want to be, in that feeling sense, because the more that they're in that place, the more that grows in expansion, and it takes you out of the other place. So
yeah, it's like the people believe that they have to have money first so they can, you know, be wealthy and then do what they want. So I think it's like the have, do, be, but it's actually be, do, have. Like you have to be this vibrational match to wealth. You have to be this vibrational match to love and to a healthy body and everything before you can start attracting that. Before you can, you know, so then you can, then when you're being that person, you then all of your actions are in alignment. So you're doing what you need to do. So then you can then have the, you know, the love or the wealth or whatever that is. So most of us get it the other way around. But when you're resonating in that vibration, it's just, that's the game changer. You know, that's what makes all the difference.
It absolutely, I would 100% agree. That's what has made the biggest difference in my life, to be able to truly change and make change, and to go from like who I was even 10 years ago. I don't even recognize that person, you know, and who I was 20 years ago. It's like, that's not even, and yet we get around family who that has not done that work. And it's like, ooh, you know, I used to be like that. Whereas before I'd want to change them, you know, because I got the secret sauce. I know what it's like. I know I got the secret to be happy. Everybody listen to me. Nobody wanted to listen to me. And so now I'm just let them all go, work on my own stuff. I work on me, and I get with them and I'm like, damn, I'm so happy. I know what I know. Do you get like that too? Because I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I have. I know.
Well, you know, I come from a big family. I'm one of 8 kids from a country town. So the fact that I actually get to live in Los Angeles and get to do the work that I do and hang out with people like yourself and the people that I do, is just, I pinch myself every day. You know, obviously I'm in a massive gratitude. And again, like I remember when Glenn and I first saw the movie The Secret, which is really what started the ball rolling. The combination of us watching The Secret and then finally getting it. See, what I used to do, which I know a lot of people fall trapped to this as well, is that I used to think that I needed to know how it had to be done. Like if I couldn't figure out how it was getting done, then I couldn't see that. I wouldn't believe that I'd be able to make, create that big goal for myself. So, but when you are being this person, you're in vibrational alignment and you're taking action, you can see this visual and you're moving forward and you've got this momentum going. There's no doubt that you'll be able to create the reality that you want. Now, that's not going to say that it's going to show up exactly the way that you think it's going to, or exactly the way how you think it's going to show up, because more often than not it doesn't. And and the other part of it, the whole manifestation process, is letting go. Letting go of how you think it's going to show up. See, if I didn't know, if I wasn't in control of every single step, and by doing that, what I was doing is shutting off. Like there was probably other opportunities coming my way. I couldn't even see them. I had the blinkers on because I'm like, it has to be happening this way. Yes. And before we started my movies, Glenn and I were in we had 4 different businesses. Slackers is what we are. Action was never our problem. But we weren't getting anywhere. But one of the businesses was this network marketing business. I'm like, wow, it's the first time I'd seen this business model. And I'm like, okay, so, I wrote out all my affirmations for this. I'm like, right, I get to travel the world. We're financially free. We get to help other people make money. I get to do something I feel passionate about, all these kind of things, And then when our friend come along and showed us, his little mind movie and then suggested we set up a website, Glenn could hardly turn on a computer. I hadn't even heard of YouTube, knew nothing about the internet. And, I remember a year later having this realize, because I found those affirmations and I went, wow, all of those affirmations have come to fruition through my movies and not through this other business. Well, I convinced it was going to be the other business. Right. And if one day before Ryan approached us with this idea about setting up the website, if someone had said to me, you're going to have this incredible life. You're going to be able to travel the world. You're going to really make a difference in people's lives. You're going to reach millions of people around the world. You're going to have this fantastic, amazing experience. And you're going to do it through the internet. I would have laughed at them. I'm like, yeah, right. I know nothing about the internet. But that's how it showed up. And this is what we talk about, surrendering and letting go, and when we're talking about, especially when you're writing your affirmations, don't get too specific. Talk about the macro stuff. And yes, you want a wildly successful business, but there's a million things that could fit that description. Yes, you want to travel the world, but don't be too specific about where yes, you can have an idea of some places that you want to go, but that could lead to something even more delicious and more juicy and more amazing. And when you're open to that, then life becomes so serendipitous and so incredible that you go, wow, I this far has exceeded my expectations, which is kind of what my life looks like now.
It's amazing. And it's not, and I don't say this because you are special and I love you, but you're also, you're ordinary in the sense you're both and, just like me. We're specially who we are. But the ability that you have had and the turnaround that you made in your life and what you've created in your life and what I've created in my life, it's because we applied universal laws and we've applied exactly what we're talking about here. I mean, we actually do this stuff. We don't just we live through it. And we get to teach by an example in the sense of like stories and, things that have happened by applying the universal laws. Because it's universal. We just you and I just are blessed to be able to be the messenger of it. So, yeah. But anybody can do it. Anybody can have life around.
Absolutely.
Universal. Absolutely. Well, Nat, I love you. I know that you have a gift to give everybody. You're going to give some videos to help them create their own movie. You tell them.
I'm actually going to be giving you some mind movies.
There you go.
I'm going to be giving you some pre-made mind movies. Obviously we have our software that you can create your own, but these are already pre-made and they, come up on relationships, on wealth, on health, confidence, inner love, What happens with these is once you download them, you can start watching them straight away. And remember, like we said before, my movie is like a visualization tool. But when you start watching these movies, you start to see yourself in this picture of this health. You start to resonate. There's a different frequency pretty much straight away. So the thing is, these are, you can download them to your computer, to any of your devices. You can carry them around with you, but you can start using them straight away. And the cool thing is that especially if you're like, look, I need to improve my health, but I don't know exactly what I want. By watching a pre-made movie like we're going to be providing for you, that'll give you some really great ideas of what health looks like to you, and be able to help you put yourself into that, into that healthy body or into that wealthy lifestyle, by watching the movies, which you can download straight away. So
awesome. Well, thank you for giving that, and thank you for explaining, because you did so much better than I did.
I know I'm doing really well today, aren't I? I was saying to Christy before, I've got no caffeine, no sugar, no alcohol, no dairy this week, and I'm feeling good today. So
I think it's kicking in. I think
it is.
Good. Yeah, you're on it. You're amazing. You always are, but you're spot on today, Nat.
Thank you, darling.
I'll see you soon. Big hugs. Thank you so much. And everybody go to the link below to get the free gifts that Natalie was talking about, and have a great, awesome day. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, just come up. This little thing that says internet was unstable. Yeah. Okay.
And my bra is showing, so go ahead.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, and here is a related video to watch right now. Also, check out my free webinars on creating whatever you want in your life using the universal laws that I explain in each webinar. So share your thoughts by leaving a comment and continue the conversation at ChristyWhitman.com.